August 28, 1970.
Good evening, Audra. Is Ray with God?
So Ray stands with God. Now, at this time, we should tell you more of what I call prayer. Too often, thou shalt pray to thy Father, and then thy thyself forget thy prayer. But remember, thy Father does not forget your prayers. And those prayers that are said in earnest, that means something to you, that should mean something to our Father, shall be answered. But then we would tell thee of the prayers that are said by others, the prayers which are said in greed, the prayers that are said to place temptation before others. Then we should tell you in this way: if thou should offend thy brother, thou shalt be offended. If thou should say a prayer to God, and mean this prayer for Lucifer, then Lucifer shall answer the prayer, and not our Father. We know that thou do not understand of which we speak. Then we should say, in a way, our Father would prefer. Walk thee in the light of God, and by walking in his light thou shalt become as he. We should tell thee of a different time, for your world has been as three. We should go back before the time of Atlantis into a civilization, as I would call it, greater than any that has ever been on your earth before, with more scientific knowledge, more powers to heal than has ever been on your earth since. Now, of this civilization, we would tell you this. This civilization made war upon other planets, and therefore, as you would call it at this time, the heavy bombardment by radiation changed the form of man, and has continued to change its form into what you are today. Therefore, when the Father spoke and said he would make man of our likeness, now, by telling you of this time, we should tell you of a time that shall be again. As your earth should change again, and as the earth shall change from north to south, from east to west. Man must change with this time, for in this time he shall walk forward and have more spiritual vibrations to the body than ever before. And at this time he shall become closer into what is known as the God state or the Christ state. At this time, those who do not change shall be no more. This is not a threat. This is something that shall happen upon your earth, and those who shall be prepared for this time shall survive. Those who are not prepared shall not survive, for their bodies, their soul, shall be no more. The spirit shall be dead, and therefore there shall be no more births and no more entries. During this time shall come about between the periods of 1900 No, this is wrong. One moment, please. Yes, Father. Yes, Father. Yes. Yes. This period shall come about in the year 2000. No, the records show 22022. Yes, this is the record shall show. You shall have to wait one moment, and permission must be given. This you must realize. Only our Father, and at His grace, shall disclose what stands and the times that stand for His great plan. And it shall be on earth and heaven, and in the universe and universes. Therefore, this time shall be 2022. And at this time, your bodies must become accustomed to these things. This shall begin in 1998. And at this time has begun before in your year of 1932. Your Earth's rotation shall change. Your Earth shall gradually become closer to what is known as your Sun. Therefore, the entries upon this Earth must change with your Earth to survive this time. Therefore, we should tell you of the time before. Before, these people were too greedy to change. Therefore, many became mutates and other forms. Their bodies changed almost to the animal state. Their thinking changed back to the animal state. This you have record of. This is what you should call your caveman state. It has taken you thousands of years to develop, from which this time came. Now, we would say, if all is not in accord, destruction shall be again, and man shall divert back again into what he was before. But as those who survived to Atlantis from this other time and were capable of taking part of the knowledge to Atlantis, then as Atlantis was destroyed, this same knowledge therefore was transferred into 3 places. Therefore, the leaders at that time realized, rather than divert completely back into the mutate or caveman state, they buried these secrets. These secrets shall be known shortly into your world again, for as we have said before, all things shall be uncovered unto thee. Where there is no light, light shall flow. Where no water flows, water shall flow. Where desert and dry land dwell, mountains shall be. All things shall change upon your earth. Very shortly you shall have what you will call another earthquake in the area known as Alaska. Very shortly you shall have an earthquake in your southern pole area. As these earthquakes happen, a great melting of the same shall happen. In the Mediterranean area, the earth shall begin to rise from the sea. In what you now call your Florida area shall rise again from the sea. Others we shall tell you in later reading. What is now known, proportions of the British Isles shall sink into the sea. Other land shall rise. A bridge, a natural bridge, shall rise from the ocean bed, and therefore what is now known as the British Isles, and what shall be left of them, shall then become part of the continent of Europe. Other proportions of the upper proportion of Europe shall change as though in the twinkling of an eye. Your South American area, great upheavals shall come about. We should tell thee more of this at a different time. So Ray grows weak, therefore we should grow weak, we should tell you, at this time, we know of the many questions thou should have answered. If thou should ask at another time, we should answer these. But remember, we are here to prepare a way, and the time should grow short. The information that thou shalt need for the preservation of God's children shall be given to you. If these things are acted upon, none of your group or God's children shall be harmed. Now is the time to awaken So Ray from his slumber. Tell him of a valley, of the valley of many doors. Tell him that he is passing back through these doors and into the valley, and there let him rest. Tell him that he shall rest and sleep there. Let him stay there for a moment, and then from the valley, tell him that he shall walk in the valley into a storm. And when you passing through the storm, you shall slowly come awake. Do this very gradual, and he shall awaken. For while he is in the valley, let him rest, and tell him his body will be very rested and very well.